The following is intended for mature audiences only. Discretion is advised.
What's up, besties? This is episode 37 of Childlike at Best with Mike Valdes, and I am still the second part of that title. Couple of upcoming comedy dates for you. Miami, on March 12th, I will be at Mr. Wright's Gold Diggers Saloon performing some stand-up comedy. It's going to be a free show. That show starts at 8 p.m., hosted by the very funny Joe Bob McKinney. And on March 19th, I will be at the Seen Not Heard comedy show at Unseen Creatures Brewing and Blending. That show starts at 8 o'clock as well, so come out and see us. It's going to be super fun. This episode is Phil Isme. Phil is a very funny and talented stand-up comedian. He has a podcast called the Papi Negro Podcast, which is a very funny podcast where he has a lot of comics come on and just talk about all kinds of things from current events to relationships. It's a great listen. Anyway, this conversation is a really awesome conversation. It's one of my favorite kinds of conversations where it's super funny and then it also gets pretty emotional and vulnerable at the same time. In fact, this conversation went so well that I ended up splitting it, and some of the conversation is going to be on his podcast, Papi Negro, which is actually launched on audio platforms as you're listening to this right now. So go subscribe anywhere you listen to podcasts to the Papi Negro podcast, and I should be one of the first episodes, and it's a really cool conversation. We talk about relationships and vulnerability and all kinds of stuff, but this episode is really great. We talk a lot about childhood, as always, and we got to talk about comedy and what it was like for him to open for some really cool people. He's been able to open for so many great people like DC Young Fly, Rich Voss. I really think that you guys are going to enjoy this, so without further ado, please enjoy Phil Isme. Hey everybody, this is Childlike at Best with Mike Valdes. Hey guys, guess what? I'm Mike Valdes, and today I have a really awesome guest with me, Phil Isme.
Hey, what's up?
What's up, man? How are you?
I am chilling, brother. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm really excited to have you on here. I've been wanting to have you on for a really long time, so I'm glad that we finally got to get this done. So, the first thing that we like to do here at Childlike at Best before we get started is we like to take a Flintstones vitamin. So I have these Flintstones Complete Gummies right here, and you can go ahead and take one. Let the audience know what character you have, whatever you like to do.
All right, let me open this.
Yeah.
I think that was a little girl. I don't remember her name.
Pebbles?
Pebbles, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, I have not watched Flintstone in so long.
It's okay. It's a really old show.
God damn, this is not even breaking.
I know, dude. I know. It's so bad.
It'll fuck up my stomach.
No, it's not.
No, I'm just chilling.
So, as you're taking that in, can you please tell the listeners where you grew up?
That's always a question that messes me up. I was born in Massachusetts. Spent first 8 years of my life in Massachusetts. When I was 8, I moved to Florida. I lived in Broward. At 12, I moved up to Port St. Lucie. So I grew up in those areas. Okay.
And what do you remember from Boston?
I remember seasons.
Yeah.
I remember seasons. I feel like everything that I got into in in my first 8 years of my life bled into everything I am now.
That's great. And how do you think so?
Well, watching wrestling as a kid.
Okay.
So I have a deep appreciation for Shawn Michaels.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Shawn Michaels, bro, the wrestler. I like
He's
The
great.
Rock, Stone Cold's cool too, but watching wrestling then, I love it now. I got into Dragon Ball Z around 98, 99, so I was like 7.
Okay.
And I'm Dragon Ball Z till I die.
Yeah.
Like some people rep Bloods and Crips. No, hold on. Brings me to another point.
Yeah,
I want to
dude.
tell you, there's a movement of Blurred. It's called Black Nerd. All
Yeah.
right?
Oh, I know.
I
listen to Donald Glover, dude.
Being a black nerd, like at 27, I'm one of the civil rights. Like I was in the civil rights for
For black nerds?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Like I
get that.
ordered Dragon Ball Z shit off the Scholastic books.
That's so funny.
And I tell the teachers, give it to me after school. But it's part of the culture now.
Yeah, of
so
course.
I was around when that shit was not cool. Someone ask you like Dragon Ball Z, they'd be like, this nigga gay. Like what? Cause I like Pokemon, I'm gay. What? How does that correlate? He trying to catch niggas. What? No, Pokemon. I'm trying to catch. Nah, bro, you trying to catch dick. It's like Yeah, okay. I went through that. I lived. I'm going to tell my kids, like, listen here, little man. When I was growing up, that shit was illegal.
When I grew up, Sailor Moon was gay.
Yeah. Well, actually, two of the, I think Uranus and Mercury were lesbians.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
yeah. But if you're a boy and you like Sailor Moon, that's gay.
Oh, that boy weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
I made it to that, so I made it past that. But yeah, I love Dragon Ball Z to this day. I love anime to this day.
Yeah,
and certain video games, like I have an affinity for Mortal Kombat. I do appreciate that. Horror movies,
of course.
So everything I liked in those first 8 years of my life, I for the most part still have a thing for them till this day.
Yeah. I want to ask you this. What kind of a kid would you say that you were growing up, like in school?
Oh my God. As a little kid, I was the black Bart Simpson pretty much. I was
really?
just a fucking menace, bro.
That's awesome.
I remember I was told that I'd like moon people, stick my middle finger at people. I remember I cussed my grandma out. She's Haitian. She's speaking Creole, but I'm telling her, fuck you.
That's hilarious.
And she like gave me a spanking. She was like, in Creole, she said, "Me fuck you," meaning like, "Here's fuck you."
Yeah.
No, fuck you. Now look at this. Look, and I got in trouble one time for biting my principal in the butt. Like I was just,
what?
Yeah, dude, I was just.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was a man.
Were you trying to make a point, or were you attracted
I don't
to him?
know. I was eating groceries before it was cool. That's
what I'm saying.
Whoa.
Shopping was a pleasure before you were.
But no, man, I don't even know what drives a kid to do that. But for the most part.
Okay, first of all, you're making it seem normal that most kids bite their principal in the butt.
No, I'm saying what would drive a kid to do that? Maybe I don't know. I can't defend myself then. That wasn't me. That was Patricia. That was a different kid.
That's hilarious.
But I ended up being like the funny kid, class clown.
Yeah.
And like stuff I'd watch a lot of comedy growing up. I remember there's something called Comic View back in the day I used to watch.
Oh, yeah, of course.
And then, and it's so funny because I used to watch that and be like, oh, they're hilarious. And watch Premium Blend. I'm like, these people aren't funny.
Yeah.
And the only reason why I thought that is because everyone on Comic View, a lot of the time, their material were so similar.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of shit I could relate to as a kid or things like that. And then that in Premium Blend, everyone is different, saying really esoteric things,
right.
Very creative. And I didn't appreciate that until my adulthood. But I still knew what was happening. Watching In Living Color, watching Martin, watching Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, watching all these shows.
Yeah.
I thought you could be like that in real life and be on TV.
Yeah.
I thought for some reason getting on TV was like acting like that on a day-to-day. And I used to act like that on a day-to-day. And
that's so interesting.
And so I was like, oh man, that's funny. I could do that.
Yeah. You thought like, oh, if I'm funny, cameras will show up at my house.
Or something would happen. Well, you know what's the funny thing is you laugh, but that happens now.
Of course it does.
Look at you. You tried to. I'm like, dude, that's what happens. So I was just, you see, I was too advanced for y'all.
Yeah.
Y'all didn't know my mind was 30 years out.
Here's the thing, though. The cameras only come when you don't have talent. That's what it is.
I mean, shit, you never know. It could happen either way. If you're being a goofball doing stupid stuff or being a funny, but hold on. Nah, if you're a funny person, the internet will flock to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
The marketplace dictates that.
Yeah, that's 100% true.
But yeah, man, I really thought that. Like, I thought that being like that would, and I feel like that is a reason why I'm very quick on my feet.
Right.
Very quick. Like some of my coworkers be like, I wish I could be quick like that. Mm-hmm. I sacrifice relationships to be like that. You don't. People can't have a serious conversation. You know what's so weird? Growing up, I didn't realize how sarcastic I am.
Yeah.
I thought sarcasm was irony and irony was sarcasm. They're similar, but not the same.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize that until like 2014, 15. Someone said I'm sarcastic. I'm like, no, I'm not. And then you're like, you're being sarcastic right now. I'm like, no. And then I just didn't realize that. And so all these things just stuck with me. I didn't realize that the first 8 years of my life, everything I liked and enjoyed stuck with me till now.
Huh. Yeah, that's really awesome, because that I honestly really do feel like who we were back then is kind of what shapes us into who we are now.
Absolutely.
Because it's so funny, because when you're a kid, all you want to do is be an adult. Like, you just want to be big. Like, you're just like, man, I wish that I was an adult. And then when you're an adult, you're just like, man, I want to be a kid. because like I don't have to work. All I have to do is go to school and like eat lunch.
Right.
You know, like,
But then again, the freedom you have is relinquished.
Yeah.
Funny enough, if you relinquish your freedom to have, you could read and chill all day, you go to prison.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what that is.
Yeah.
That's how you relinquish your freedom to be like you were in school again. It's by going to prison.
Yeah.
That's the closest thing to that.
Right.
I didn't think about that till now. That's you're bringing.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So
it is true. So what are some other things that really inspired you as a kid?
So
like you were talking about, like, for example, you were talking about Fresh Prince. So what are some highlight Fresh Prince moments for you? Because that's a really great show for me as well.
I think it's just the funniness of everything.
Sure.
The funniness of that. I there's not specific moments that come to me thinking about that.
Are you on a specific Aunt Viv camp?
Oh yeah, come on, bro. The second Aunt Viv is just no.
She's the worst.
A woman like that can't raise those kids. No, they'd walk all over her.
I mean,
they really would. The first Aunt Viv, she's like cool, but she has the attitude. Is like, yo,
yeah.
The first Aunt Viv can level out Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
The second Aunt Viv, if Uncle Phil's getting mad, she can't really calm him down cleverly. Like he was just too And you know what? I feel bad for her because she's just an actress that got a job that really was. But I feel bad for her. But the first one was just so much better.
No, you're
I hate
right.
shitting on her, but it's like
true.
No.
Yeah, you're 100% right.
No, I'm definitely the first one for sure. He's incomparable. Like that's like no. You can't even compare those two. That's blasphemy.
Yeah,
Have you met people that like the second Aunt Viv?
No. I've also never met anyone that likes the second Harriet on Family Matters. Do you even remember the second Harriet?
The little girl?
No, Harriet's the mom. They changed moms on the last season.
On Family Matters?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
I'm dead serious.
What?
Yeah, they changed the mom on the last season, and they changed her for a lighter skinned black woman. The same thing as Fresh Prince. It was let's just change it for a lighter skinned black woman.
What?
Yeah. It's real weird.
What?
Yeah, I'm blowing your mind right now.
Get the fuck out of here,
Yeah.
dude. I've never.
This is also something you should know about me. I'm the only person that looks like me that remembers Moesha. You know what I mean?
Oh, I remember that shit. You know what I hate about black shows, bro? They don't give us good endings. We don't have closure.
No,
These
dude.
shows just end randomly.
Yeah. Living Single just ended randomly. You know what I mean?
Well, it came back as Friends.
That's true. It came back with friends. That's hilarious.
What? They
It's
really
so
did
funny
change her.
because it 100% is Friends.
It is. It really is Friends.
That's so funny.
It's just Friends, man. Harriet Winslow. I did not.
You know what other show I remember? Do you remember In the House? You remember that show?
Hey, man, stop naming garbage shows, bro.
LL Cool J?
I remember hanging out with Mr. Cooper.
Yeah, that was
Gullah
a good
Gullah
one.
Island.
Yeah, that was a good
My
one.
Brother and Me.
Yes.
Cousin Skeeter.
Yeah, of course.
Those were good times, man. Oh, dude. Yo, you know what show I loved as a kid?
Which one?
Eureka's Castle.
Yeah.
It's so funny. Like, I'm not looking at you because I'm like digging in my head. Like, I'm just looking in my. I see my brain outside of my head. I'm looking in my thoughts. Eureka's Castle.
Eureka's Castle.
I thought Batley was the cleanest motherfucker on TV. He had shades on. He had a suit, black suit, shades.
Yeah.
He had the fucking the purple. Oh, he was swagged out. Batley was swagged out. I love that show because of Batley. Face used to be a little creepy to me.
Face was so weird, dude. Oh my gosh. Face is gender neutral. Did you know that?
I'm about to leave with it. You broke my brain. I remember that voice. I'm like, Faces.
Yeah.
I ain't never met a girl that acted like that, bro.
Yeah. Hi there, Face here.
Yo.
Yeah, dude.
You know what just happened to me? Like
What?
that fate. Like, remember Saw?
Yes.
The conclusion. And I'm just like, that's what happened. I was like, what?
Yeah. It's like
This episode's gonna be you breaking my brain.
That's so funny.
I didn't know.
This whole episode is the meme of the guy from The Wire.
I was like, yo. Hold on. Face is gender neutral. What?
Okay. You realize I'm joking, right?
Man,
I'm joking.
I was just like, what?
Yeah, it just seems like it could be true. You know?
No, it doesn't. That's why I looked at you. I looked at you like, what? I'm just like, how? How? His name is Face.
Yeah, he's just a face.
You don't even have any other parts.
Yeah, that's the point. That's why he's gender neutral.
Hi, guys. Yeah. If I tell you Barney's a woman, bro, you're like, what? No, it could be either or. That's
Barney's a dinosaur, first of all.
But, they never reference him by gender, did they?
Yeah, it was a he. Baby Bop was a she. No, BJ was creepy.
Barney is a dinosaur with bigger.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
When he's tall, he's
okay. You see, it's so funny because all I knew was Barney is a purple dinosaur with big imagination. The part where I went, da-na-na, that's where his gender was at. Yeah. So I just didn't remember.
Yeah. I also remember that song when it was Yankee Doodle. But
right? Yo, you want to hear something fucked up about my childhood?
What?
My fucking sister, bro. She told me that Barney kidnapped those kids.
What?
And then when he sent it out to the parents.
Oh my gosh.
Because he wants his ransom and them kids still alive. So send that money right over.
That's so stupid. Oh my God.
My sister would, I owe my childhood to my sister because she's born in 1980. So a lot of the stuff like In Living Color, all the stuff I like, I know because of her. But the problem is then I chew on a lot of shit as a kid. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I'm biting my principal in the butt. So I have an oral fixation. So he told me that I had Burger King was selling these old toys like Frankenstein, the old Dracula, the Wolfman, all those toys back in the 90s.
Yeah.
So what ended up happening is I bit the fingers of my vampire toy of Dracula. I don't know what possessed me. Something told me that like, oh my God, he's going to get mad and come alive at night and come fuck with me.
Oh my gosh.
I told my sister like, oh my God. She was like, yeah, he's going to come at night and chew on your fingers the way you did his.
That's
and I'm
awful.
crying. And I go to my mom and I'm crying like, yo, this guy's going to get, because I lived in Massachusetts at the time in an apartment.
Yeah.
So I'm out the balcony crying like, yo, this man's going to come through here and fucking eat my fingers.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's awful. Oh my gosh. That's crazy, dude. To go into our next bit, what were your favorite snacks growing up?
Zebra cakes. I love zebra cakes as a kid. I love zebra cakes.
Did you ever, by the way, I talked about this hack in the last episode. Did you ever put them in the microwave for 5 seconds?
Make it more mushy?
Mm-hmm.
Nah, I didn't. I like, to be honest, if I were to eat it now, which I can't, it fuck up my stomach.
Oh,
bro.
yeah,
it's
of
so
course.
sugary.
Yeah.
I'd put it in the freezer for a little bit, get a little hard, and then eat it. I don't like it mushy. So put it 5 seconds a little more chewy.
It's not that it's chewy. It's just like, it tastes like those like molten cakes, you know?
Oh. Are you messing? At this point, I don't know if I trust you, bro.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not messing with you. I'm
teasing. Yeah, I love zebra cakes.
Yeah.
That definitely was my thing. Zebra. When I think of my childhood, I think of zebra cakes. I love those a lot.
Yeah.
I lived in Massachusetts, so like at the corner store, they had like these lollipops that were like shaped like watermelon, but had all sorts of flavors.
Huh. Okay.
It was crazy. What else did I like? I remember there was like soda they used to have. Well, it was like fruit champagne soda. I love chips. I always loved sour cream and onion, barbecue. Like, you know, there wasn't as much exclusivity flavors they have now. So we had the basic barbecue or sour cream and onion Doritos I like.
Right.
Cool Ranch was weird, but I detested salt and vinegar chips. Ugh. I really hate those. I would go on a crusade and ban those. I'm so serious. I will start a rumor online saying I got coronavirus in it and then make it that no one I really hate that shit.
That's funny.
Yeah, I remember in Boston I had like, I wouldn't say it's Tahitian treat soda, but it was something like that, and that was superb. For the most part, when I think childhood snack, zebra cake off rip comes to the top of my head.
Yeah,
sure.
Absolutely. What about cereal? We talk a lot about cereal on this podcast. What's your favorite kind of cereal growing up?
You know it is being first generation. It's cornflakes. Fucking cornflakes, all the fucking...
I do remember cornflakes being in the house a lot.
Oh my, I had to throw sugar on that motherfucker to make it frosted flakes.
Yeah. Why am I going to buy frosted flakes? You can put sugar on it.
Yeah. Did that. Or my sister used to teach me something. She'll like mix the sugar in the milk. Do that. I think, so growing up, Cookie Crisp, I liked Cookie Crisp.
Yeah.
And then I have it now. It's like...
Yeah, it's pretty horrible.
It's horrible.
Yeah.
I don't really like cereal. At one point, pretty much whatever my sister liked, I liked. But Cookie Crisp was all my doing. Frosted Mini Wheats I liked.
Yeah.
Well, I don't count. I was like 12. Eating shit like that, like 12 in my teens. That's a weird cereal. It's weird. It's like, that's old people shit. It's like I'm eating edible Brillo pads. Like that shit is not... This sounds depressing.
Dude, let me tell you this stupid, it's horrible story. So I just started thinking about it because I've never talked about frosted mini wheats, and it made me think of this story. So when I was a kid, I ended up getting banned from eating frosted mini wheats because of this specific thing. What I would do every morning, I would get the cereal and I'd put it in a bowl, and then I would pour milk on it so it would get like sweet. I would sit in my beanbag chair and I would just eat the frosting from it and then put the rest of the shredded wheat underneath the beanbag. And my freaking cleaning lady flipped out one day. Gosh, that's so freaking... Oh my God, that made me...
You're horrible. So, what'd she say?
I don't remember. It was all in a different language, but yeah, there's only a couple things I've ever done as a kid that made my...
What did it do? What did it do?
It like turned into like mold.
Oh no! What was your cleaning? What country was she from?
I don't remember. I just remember not being able to understand it. Whatever it was, she certainly wasn't happy.
That's fucked up. I was like, yo, I thought you put it back in the box.
No.
I'm like, yo, you're a clever little kid. I like your style.
No, it was much worse. So, yeah, it was real bad. Yeah, the only things I've ever done that like made people in my house freak out was that. And then my mom, because I grew up with a single mom until I was about 8. And my mom, when I was about 6 or from 6 to 8 or whatever, before my dad came into the picture, or my stepdad, she would always tell me that she was going to give me a spanking before she actually did it. Mm-hmm. So I would always go into my room because she never actually spanked me bare. She always spanked me with like shorts on or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I would put all of my underwear on.
Oh, yeah. I've done that too.
I mean, 500 things of underwear, like just like a whole bunch of underwear until like you're just a pillow, and then you put your pants on over that. And then she would spank me, and I'd be like, "Oh my gosh, that hurts so bad!" But it didn't hurt at all because of the padding. But there were times because like you're a kid, and like you forget you're a kid, and you don't realize you pooped your pants, and things like that. So
I do know.
So there was no. I definitely knew. I'm just making myself seem better now, but I definitely knew. So because of that, like my mom was like washing my underwear at some point, and like underwear was like getting stuck together, and she's like, why is this happening? That situation 100% is the reason why my mom stopped spanking me.
But yeah, cereal, that's what I liked.
Speaking of cereal and putting it underneath your beanbag chair, we like to do a thing here at Childlike at Best where we like to review a box of cereal. And usually I like to review a cereal that has something to do with my guest in some way, shape, or form, even if it reminds me a little bit of them. So I spoke with my sponsors over at Nickelodeon. And by sponsor, I mean that I like them and I buy all their products.
Hey.
And by spoke to, I mean that I tweeted them repeatedly and they didn't get back to me. So the cereal that I got for you, Reptar cereal.
Hey.
Yeah. From Rugrats. Did you ever watch Rugrats growing up?
Come on, of course.
Yeah, of course you did.
Reptar.
Yeah. So that's why I got this, just because like...
Where do you get it at?
I actually got this at FYE. Now here's the thing. The cereal itself expired in 2014. But here's the thing, Phil. I'm not a monster. I took that cereal out and I put new Fruit Loops in there. So because I did because like at the end of the day, like it's on the picture there, it looks like Fruit Loops. So I was like, all right, well, I'm just gonna get the Fruit Loops with marshmallows, and we'll just say that that's Reptar cereal.
Mike.
So I didn't bring a bowl with me, so we're just gonna have to hand it.
Mike.
Do you want me to just pour it onto the table?
Mike, I'm scared.
Why are you scared?
This shit's from 2014.
Dude, I threw that away, Phil.
How do I know that? Well, obviously, yeah, I can just
I know
look
for
at
a fact.
Let's
You can look at how new it
look
looks.
at expired Fruit Loops.
Look at how new it looks. It looks great.
All right.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they look.
Bro, I'm not a monster, Phil. I would never do that.
It's those unassuming ones.
Yeah. So I think it would be fun to review this cereal, right? But what would be...
I'm like, if this shit tastes like the Eucharist, I'm swinging.
It's not going to... I assure you. So I would never do that to you.
Yo, being in church,
Yeah.
you ever think like, yo, I just want to dip that bread in that wine.
I used to do that all the time. Yeah. Dude, the only time I've ever been drunk in my life was at church.
You don't drink?
Only at church. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
You're a smoker?
No.
You're pretty straight edge. That's interesting.
Yeah, dude. I'm straight edge as balls.
What the?
Yeah, dude. Manscaped.com. Use promo code Childlike at best.
Oh, that boy smooth with it. I wish you could have my facial reactions.
Yeah. You want to be straight edge as balls? Go to manscaped.com.
Yeah, I was like, what the?
Oh my goodness. So it would be fun to review this cereal, but I think it would be way more fun to review this cereal as a character from Rugrats. So you can either invent your own character or a character that you like, but I'm going to find some Rugrats music, and I would like for you...
I could do this. I could probably imitate it.
I know you can. Yeah, we're going to review this cereal together whenever you're ready.
Hey there, everybody. I don't know why I talk like this, but this is Judd. I'm a long relative from Tommy, who lives in Kansas. And this cereal, I reckon, is very delicious. Oh, man, it's really good. It's really sugary. Tastes like Fruit Loops, the generic, the great value version, but it's not great value because it's a value because it's from the Rugrats.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
And when you went to the grocery store, how many miles was it exactly?
Miles?
Yeah.
Shit, it was days.
How many days exactly?
A lot.
Was it?
Yes.
Well, the reason why I ask is because wasn't the grandfather, his whole thing was always saying the number 15. It was 15 miles.
It's weird how I tapped into that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so weird that the person, I possessed the person, Phil, but Phil came back, but no, it's me, Judd, again.
Yeah.
It was very far away.
This episode of Childlike at Best with Mike Valdes is brought to you by Real Good Foods. Real Good Food is changing the frozen food game by making nutrient-dense, low-carb, delicious food that makes you feel and live better. From low-carb chicken crust pizza and bacon-wrapped stuffed chicken to grain-free breakfast sandwiches. They also make vegan-friendly options like cauliflower or broccoli crust pizzas. Are you for real? Yeah. Real Good Foods makes low-carb, high-protein food with real ingredients so you feel good about eating. So be a part of the Real Good family and visit realgoodfoods.com. Choose as many delicious items as you'd like and use promo code BESTIE to save 15% off at checkout. That's BESTIE at checkout to save 15% off of your order. Real Good Foods. Keep it real. So I want to start talking about what you're doing now and just comedy in general. When did you start comedy?
I started in 2011. I think October 5th, 2011.
Where was it?
It was in Port St. Lucie. It was a place called Open Mics. And I got into stand-up. Actually, it was a dare. Well, let me take it back. I got the superlatives class clown or whatever like that?
Yeah.
I got most likely to be a stand-up comedian. That 1 year we changed it. They changed it for 1 year.
That's so
I
weird.
won. And I was one of those people, I was like, my sister got class clown, but she's just very sharp-witted and very sarcastic and clever.
Yeah.
And they gave her class clown.
It's so funny. I was nominated for my senior superlative for most likely to succeed, right? And I lost, but I also don't hold it with much merit anymore because I went to a Christian school and one of the superlatives was most Christian.
Yikes. You got that?
No.
Someone got that? Oh, that person's probably a porn star now. I will tell you, in my high school, we had something called Alpha Club.
Yeah.
They were I could tell you some of those people that came from there, people gotten like drunk. Some people probably in rehab, some people had kids early.
Yeah.
Oh my, dude, it's so crazy. The Alpha Club, like some of these people, wild. Wild.
So that first night that you did stand up at the open mic, do you remember how it went? Like, did it go well enough where you were like, I want to keep doing this?
I did 7 minutes. What happened is that my friend was like, hey man, do stand up, try it out. I'm like, all right. So I had like written some, I think August, September. So I remember writing ideas down and be like, all right, these are jokes that I want to do. Mm-hmm. And eventually what ended up happening is I went to perform in November. That night, I remember who got up. Kevin Perry got up. Dan Dakotas. I think those two no longer do stand up. And Eric Myers was the headliner.
Okay.
And that boy he's like a comedy demon. Like he's amazing.
Yeah, yeah.
And the open mic came after. I performed, and it was a fun time. And I didn't have a bad set. It was cool. I remember, it's so funny. I remember some of the jokes I said. It was just like, it's weird. Like, I'm a better comedian now, of course, because I know what I'm doing. Yeah. But I said some things that, like, it was during the 2012 election, about that time, and Herman Cain was winning.
Okay.
Remember when Herman Cain was doing really well before that alleged sexual harassment shit came out? Right. And they're like, and so I was like, they said 2012 is the end of the world, and I'm like, that's true, because two brothers might be. It was pretty much saying that like two black guys are going to be going against each other in the presidential race. Right. And it's saying stuff like that, and I was like, man, that's interesting. I think of saying some wild stuff like that. Yeah. And I remember thinking then about joke structure, and I was funny because there I wasn't just like, there was a setup punch there, but I didn't realize what I was doing. I don't remember word for word. Right. And I remember saying a joke where like, since I was like, it's funny because like where we're at economically, we would have a black president when they say we're in like economic crisis. Right. And I was like, now we're just going to switch off races. It's going to be a Jewish person to get us back financially. And then after that, we're going to have a Korean president. Right. And it's funny how damn near played out. It damn near played like that. Bernie should have been the next president. And Andrew Yang, I don't even know why people thought Andrew Yang was going to, I'm not even going to get into that, but he was not going to win. Anybody that says, yeah, I'm going to give you $1,000 a month, he ain't winning. Yeah. He's not winning. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. Yeah, so like, and yeah, man, I did really well. I think I did 7 minutes, and it was good. It went well. Then I went to a stage of I do stuff thinking it's funny. Yeah. Like, people would laugh at that. And I remember it was the 4th time I ever performed stand-up because I only performed in the area. So I'd get up one week I'd get up here, not another week, and then another week. So I thought you'd always have to come up with new stuff. I'm like, how the fuck can this happen? And then what ended up happening is, so the feature for that night was Preacher Lawson. Right. You know who that is,
Murderer.
Right?
He's so good.
You met him before?
Never met him in person, but I've seen his stuff. He's very, very good.
Yeah, he was on stage. He was a feature. Ken Miller was the headliner. Okay. And that's like his mentor. Okay. So yeah, he's a comedy OG, and I had to go right on after that. Yeah. And I had glasses on, like I thought what I was gonna do was so funny, and the people I was with, my best friend, she looked at me like a face like yikes, and then looked at her phone. Oh no, dude, I was bombing so bad. I literally wanted to jump off it. I think that was the first real bomb I ever had, and I never had an emotion like that before. Yeah.
Was that the worst?
It hurt.
Was it the worst bomb you've ever had?
I've had some hard times, but like in a situation like that hurt a lot. It hurt a lot. I remember I performed with Eddie Brill. He was like the talent coordinator for the David Letterman show. Okay. And it was like in a VFW type of spot. suck at those places. I'm doing jokes for like older people, so they don't get me at
Yeah.
all.
Where you're doing jokes for people that don't think comedy's funny.
Well, they thought he was funny.
Really?
Because he could talk to them. He's like an older gentleman, so he knows.
Okay. Yeah.
You know?
He's like, remember Nam? And they're like, yeah.
Like, he just talks in a certain way they would understand. And so I'm doing my jokes. And then you got to understand this guy here, bro. He's seeing Patrice O'Neal, Chris Rock, Dave Chappelle. And he went in on it. He was like, he told me some like stuff. And I was like, it hit so hard, I went to go drink afterward.
Like
went to a bar. He was just saying constructive criticism, but it low key. Like what I surmised from what he said is like, yeah, you know, like work hard, or hey, maybe it could not be for you. And
yeah,
I literally went to the bar and started drinking. Yeah, it was crazy.
That's pretty. That's awful. Like
no. He said it in a way where it's like I said, how I focus in on the minute.
Yeah.
I saw what he was saying.
Right.
It's more so of like, hey, you know, you never know. Like, he never know what this guy may be, but hey, you never know, it may not work.
Yeah.
And it hurt, bro. I went home and started drinking. And no, I went to a bar. Vine and Barley, best spot. But I started drinking. And the next time I saw him perform, I was like, he was like, oh, okay, yeah, you're great or whatever. So, yeah, I think, I don't remember if that was a bomb per se, but I do remember that feeling of someone who's he's seen some of the best to ever do it. Man,
you know, let's I was going to say in the movie of your life, the way that it would play out is that happens, and then the next time you perform with him, you kill, and then he bombs. And then it's just like comedy, am I right?
No, I mean, I did very well that night, and then he gave me, a matter of fact, I know when I performed, it was 2017. Yeah, it was 2017. I went to New York in 2017, and it was before that we're talking. And yeah, he gave me, so he was like, yeah, man, you're good, yada, yada, yada. I don't blame him for talking to me the way I did. Cause,
sure.
Yo, you got to understand, some people, not to sound like a Debbie Downer, sometimes your good isn't good enough.
Of course.
There's a lot of comedians you've seen that's like, you shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah.
But who are we to tell them something like that?
Yeah.
Maybe they're not a great straight-up comedian, but they have like a genius level writing skill for writing for TV. Now you shitted on him as a comedian. He will never forget that. Now he's in a consummate entertainer in other things, but you burnt a bridge not thinking it was going to lead to that other path you could have went to. So it's a weird thing. And that's what's weird about comedians, because it's like, you got to be nice to everyone because we should be nice.
Yeah.
But the business mindset of that is you could be nice because you don't know who you be working with or need in the future.
Yep. I say that all the time, dude. One of the best reasons to treat everybody like $1 million is because you never know who you're talking to.
Exactly.
You know, because it's just true. And that's just a way to go about life. Like not even the entertainment business.
Yeah.
You know, you should just go about that with your life, especially if you're trying to get a relationship.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Anyway, Puppy Negro podcast.
Hey, I thought you mother.
I'm Sweet. Good at this.
He threw me off. But the thing about this business, all about relationships.
Yeah, of course.
That's all it is.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. So I want to talk about. I want to keep talking about this, but like, you know, because I always like to talk about what somebody's biggest bomb. But like, tell me, like, did you ever have like a funny thing happen on stage, or just something super memorable? You know, that's just like, oh man, like that's funny that happened.
I won a contest 2012. Mm-hmm. I won a contest in December, and then I got to feature for Rich Voss 2012. January 2012. After I said a joke, he gave it up like, hey, that kid was funny.
Nice.
And then he played off a joke of someone on the crowd I did, and he played off of that.
Nice.
And I was like, yo, I watched this kid. As a kid, I watched this guy on the Chappelle show. Well, he was on one episode.
Yeah.
I saw this guy on Tough Crowd. I'm working with him, and he's pretty much running a joke, like building on that joke, like because I was making fun of someone on the audience, and then that joke he's building that off, joking. It's like, man, that's surreal.
That's really awesome.
That's surreal. Like, it's just wild. Like, I performed with this guy. You remember that show, Just Jordan?
Yeah.
I performed with him not too long ago, and it's like, dude, I used to watch you on TV and watch you doing stand-up, and I never thought I could do stand-up.
Right.
I used to watch stand-up as a kid. Like, I thought stand-up, all these people were saying all that shit at the spur of the moment. You know what? That's what makes it funny, because you're like, whoa, how'd they think of that? I thought they were saying that all, like, they get on stage and think all this crazy stuff. I'm like, yo, how the fuck they think of that? I can never compile thoughts like that. Like, I can't think of things like that. It that fast? I'm like, I'm fast, but not that fast.
Yeah.
And then now I'm doing it. It's surreal.
That is very true. Yeah.
You know what I hate about comedy?
Everything.
Right. But the thing I hate, bro, is like, people will be like, I've been doing this almost 9 years October.
Yeah.
People will be like, oh, man, I've been trying to see you, man. I've been doing it 9 years. If you haven't seen me, you really don't fuck with what I do.
Yeah.
Next time someone tells me, I'll be like, yo, in all honesty, I've been doing this for a while, almost 10 years. I live in the city you're in. I just drive around a lot.
Yeah.
When I started off, you didn't see me. When I went to another town, you got curious to see me.
Yeah.
Then you asked when I'm going to be in town again.
Yeah.
I'm in town again. And then you're like, oh, man, tell me when the next one is. I post all my shows.
Yeah,
so,
that happens all the time.
Yeah,
dude.
but
that happens to everyone at every level.
I know, but it's just like, it's annoying. Now,
of course it is.
Now, funny thing is, when you're successful, they're going to be like, oh, man, I always was a supporter.
Yeah, that's always going to be super annoying.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something that, like, Chris D'Elia talks about all the time, where he's like, I'll be in Indianapolis, and then a week later, somebody be like, hey, when are you going to be in Indianapolis? And I was like, I was there a week ago. And he's like, why didn't you post tickets? Well, I did, because I sold out 2 shows. So clearly people knew that I posted tickets.
Yeah. You know, that's right.
Like,
I think you got to understand is just the nightmares from the bottom thing. Like, we're at this level. So it's like, you see it now, and it's like, I can't wait when I'm at that higher level.
it's going to be the same.
Yeah.
It's just, now it's just going to be with people you don't know.
True. No, it's not even that. It's more so the people that acted like, I have a friend, right? I started off doing theater. I actually was doing theater in high school. I did it. I got a theater scholarship.
Nice.
And what ended up happening is I had a friend in high school. We were like inseparable damn near, to the point where he'd come to my house, spend the weekend, we'd hang out. And then when he'd go back home, as soon as he goes home, we'd talk on the phone and bullshit, right?
Yeah.
And then he veered off more to the street life.
Okay.
I'm more, doing theater and all that stuff.
Right.
And I started stand-up in 2011. He never came out to any of my shows. He's doing his own thing.
Right.
I remember his sister was like, hey, if he makes it, he's going to remember that you weren't here, watching his stuff or whatever. So he would never come to my shows. But what happened is, doing theater in college, we'd do dinner theater shows, and I'd get paid. And I'd save that money up and bought myself a PS3. And he was like, hey, let me borrow some games. I'm like, nah, that's show money that got that, bro. You ain't borrowing shit. He's like, oh, so if I see a show, can I borrow one? I'm like, oh, that's the incentive?
Yeah.
Fuck that. You know. So what ended up so that's around 2012, 2011. What ended up happening 2011, that was theater. And I did stand-up. He never came through or anything. No biggie. I did a show with DC Young Fly last Thursday. And he was like, hey, man, I told you never quit, man. Keep going. And it's like, boy, shut the fuck up. Because the thing is, people see that performing at the Improv for a known person is a great thing. It's cool. It's an opportunity, but there's so much things that cool to me. Like, I performed at SuperCon.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You're supposed to do comedy at a comedy club.
Yeah.
You getting chosen is a beautiful thing, but performing at Comic-Con, getting into for free, like that's bad ass.
Yeah.
You don't get to do that. It's just like, a lot of times people just look at performing in a well-known venue, like a comedy place like that,
or performing for a well-known person.
And most times they probably ain't supporting you. They're just going to see that well-known person as 2-in-1. Hey, I supported you, but I really came to see the other person.
Yeah.
So, it's how the game goes.
And even then, dude, like, you never know, because, like, to this person, DC Young Fly might be super popular, but to someone else, who's DC Young Fly?
Exactly. Performing for him was great. He's a real cool guy.
I know. He seems like a super cool dude.
He at the Improv, I was supposed to host. Last minute, he pulled the audible. He chose to go up first, introduce me, then his friend, Future, then he'll do, I don't think he discussed doing time. Then there was another guy who's like Instagram known, has a lot of followers. What he did is he had him go up, He hadn't been doing stand up that long, and then have me. And then he asked me, "Hey Phil, like the phrase is, are you know that my like that South talk, like it's like, oh, you fire, like are you really good? And I'm like, I like to play unassuming. Because if you talk it up and don't follow up, you're getting clowned. Yeah. And so I'm like, I'm good. And he pretty much said like, dude, are you good or what? And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. So, and so him doing it like that, when he goes on stage first, the audience are happy to see him like, oh, he's here. So what it would take me to do in 5 minutes of hosting to get them laugh, he could literally do off one gesture because they're already familiar with him. First guy bombs and I go up. He does his thing, introduce the first guy, doesn't really do stand up.
Can I interrupt you for a second? What this guy is doing is so smart by doing that. Because you actually said it perfectly. He is making the show better for everyone. Yeah. So if someone does fail, it's fine because they've already seen the guy that they came to come see. They know he's here and they know he's coming back, you know, as opposed to like some guy like you or I that's like chicken nuggets. Am I right? And people are like, get out of here, like, dude. Like, I'm here to see freaking who cares guy or whatever, you know?
So what ended up happening is a girl told me after the show, when I got up, she was like, when you got like, I guess people just didn't trust the show no more. Yeah. And when I got up, this girl said like, when I got on stage, this girl said that she heard someone go, they ain't trust me because they saw the way I looked. They're like, oh, and then I had a really, I think it's probably one of the best recorded sets I have. Yeah. And I did very well. And if I hosted, I would have probably been okay. I don't really get to do the demographics he has as fan base. I don't really get to perform in front of people like that. Yeah. But it sold out so much so I only could stay in the green room or stand on the stairs. And it was dope because I had a great set and it worked out. And the way he ran that show, and he pretty much was like, if he doesn't do good, no problem. I have my friends who I know will bring it back up. And the way he did, man, I think all shows should be run like that.
How many people did he have go up, though?
It was him, one of the guys, I guess he's friends with someone, he performed. Then me, who was supposed to be the host. Okay. The other guy was technically a guest spot. Yeah. And he had his friend.
Because I'm trying to think why that girl was sighing. Was she sighing?
I was second because that guy, he probably looked at me and was like, oh, he doesn't look funny. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's just, you know?
Yeah. Well, so they probably thought. The only thing I could think of is like, oh man, it's not who I came to see. It's just some other guy.
No, they probably was like, they just didn't
they just didn't trust you.
Yeah. Because that guy, you know, didn't do too well. And right. So that happened. So it was DC Young Fly, that guy, 2 other people. Yeah. I mean, pretty much like, it's technically just 5 people, but and then he did 40 minutes at the end. Yeah. So the people are happy, man. And I think a show like that.
It's great.
Guaranteed success as long as you could do what you came here to do.
Yeah. And then he sold Bring That Ass Here shirts outside.
I don't know. I don't think he sold anything.
I mean, I don't even know if he has Bring That Ass Here shirts. I just know that's his thing.
Bro, it was packed.
Yeah, I'm sure.
It was, and it's like,
he's super great.
And
he's super
funny. Funny thing I made me realize about performing at these shows at the Improv and things like that. Sometimes you'll have a show that you know it's a big deal. Yeah. And you have that, like, I call it the Jonah complex, where you feel like something's so great that you're not worthy of it. You're an imposter. Like, nah, I don't belong here. It's like you feel comfortable doing these little bar shows. And when you do a show like that, that could really change your life. You're like, I'm not worthy. Like, no, I can't do it. I feel like I don't be here. But it's like, then why are we doing this for?
Bro.
We're supposed to be here.
Yes. That's exactly what I was going to tell you.
We're supposed to be here.
You are 100% supposed to be there.
That's how.
Like, that's the fact that you are there is proof that you should be there.
This is what we work towards.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
You know,
you have any idea how many other comics they could have chosen?
Man, that Flintstone vitamin got me sweating. Woo! Hey, what's that purple rabbit doing over there?
It's PCP.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I didn't know you like to get wet.
Yeah.
Love book. Yeah. Sherman Hemsley.
Yeah.
PCP. Angel Dust.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, like, but that's the thing. It's like, yeah, 100%. If you're there, it's because you're supposed to be there. That's it. And trust me, dude, I'm exactly like you when I'm in the moment, because it's easy for me to be like, when you're supposed to be there, you're supposed to be there.
But you're scared. You got
cut
tremors.
to me next week on set for a thing that I should not be starring in or whatever. And I'm just like, why am I here? Who in the world thinks I'm funny?
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing. And then but that's the thing. It's like, you are worthy. That's why you're there.
You know? So it's just like, you get that chance and it's like, I can't fuck this up.
Yeah.
You know, and it's so weird about comedians. It's weird about comedians where we have to be self-defeating. If you have too much pride, confidence, or in yourself, people will be like, he is very pompous, arrogant. Like, it's like, ugh. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
So it's weird that we have to play that role. Everyone is different, but I see for the most part, if you're too proud of yourself, people can't wait to see you do bad.
Yeah, but that's just the way of...
Yeah, you know, that's just the way it is. These people, the listeners probably, for those who may not be comedians, it's just the way things are, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's just the way things are. Dude, one thing, I know that you said you've done like TV shit and things like that.
A little bit, yeah.
This year I finally got to do some bookings. I can honestly say, bro, being an extra... it's the worst.
Oh, yeah.
They don't give a fuck
it's
about
actually,
you.
Dude, it's actually the thing that I always tell people, you know, because, look, man, I get a lot of, you know, and not to make myself sound like anything, but I mean, I do get, you know, some DMs and messages of like, hey, man, saw you in this thing. How do I do that? And it's like, I can't answer that, dude. Take a class. Get good at acting. Get an agent and meet with good people. Like, audition for things. You know, first of all, the reason why I think everybody should get educated and should take classes is because you need to learn how to audition. You just do. It's a skill that you need to learn, like stand up. It's a skill that you need to learn. But another thing that I tell people is, like, if you've never done anything, do extra work, because that will be the thing that lets you know immediately if this is what you want to do or not. Oh, yeah.
But being an extra, bro, it's so weird because it's like, and the way that this have like, I remember one point we were shooting something and they had the extras in a corner.
Yeah. What was this for? Just out of curiosity.
I signed
Did you?
NDA, yeah. They ain't playing. They ain't playing, bro.
So you're not supposed to tell me what you were an extra for?
No, I can't, dude.
That's okay.
Listen, I don't, I ain't fucking my money up.
Okay.
So what happens, they have us in a corner in the dark, Miami nighttime, and they're out here shooting like principals, like, oh, we finished shooting principal, people drinking champagne, all that stuff, and we're in the dark, and they told us to sit here, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck? I'm like, oh yeah, you can leave. And I'm thinking like, yo, I'm a comedian. I'm like, I can't be here. I'm gonna work so that I don't have to be an extra.
Right.
I don't want to do this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, the money's cool, whatever, but it's like, to be treated like that, disregarded, I'm like, nah, I can't, not me.
Extra work could be beneficial for specific elements. It depends on what it is that you're trying to do.
Networking is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, networking, it just depends on what you're trying to do. Like, that's basically it. You know, I did extra work when I was in LA because I was trying to get into the Screen Actors Guild, and I knew that if I was an extra on Screen Actors Guild projects, that I could be eligible, and then that would make me eligible to start auditioning for pilot season, where I can be in roles where I speak and where I do things that I'm not glorified furniture, and that's perfectly fine. And in fact, you know, sometimes, you know, and I don't know if I've told this story on this podcast yet, but you know, I was an extra on a pilot for a show that was made by Fox. It was starring Courtney Cox from Friends and Chris Parnell from Saturday Night Live, and they saw me as an extra, and just out of nowhere, the director asked to come see me, or asked me to go up to him, and said, "Hey, we've been looking at the dailies. We like the way that you look. We like the faces that you're making. Would you be okay if we wrote a role for you?"
Dude.
So here's the thing, dude. You never know. This episode of Childlike at Best with Mike Valdes is brought to you by the Crunch Cup. Save time in the morning by taking your cereal on the go. Simply add cereal to the inner cup, milk into the outer cup, screw on the lid, and you're ready to crunch. Eat cereal in the car, at your desk, or anywhere else you want. Go to thecrunchcup.com to purchase what I think is a genius invention and use the discount code MikeValdes10. That's Mike, M-I-K-E, Valdes, V-A-L-D-E-S, the number 10. To save 10% off of your order. You can also sign up for their monthly giveaway to win a year's supply of cereal. So what are you waiting for? Go to thecrunchcup.com and use promo code MikeValdes10 to save 10% off of your order. The Crunch Cup, it's better than spooning.
Another thing I like growing up, man, like you just brought me to an idea. I used to love wrestling entrances.
Oh yeah, of course.
And I was like, if I can have that just be in the middle of the floor,
dude,
and hit a pose.
The bit that I would always do with myself to keep myself entertained at lunch, because I always sat alone, was if someone who walked into the door with their lunchbox were a wrestler, what would their song be?
Yeah. I think I've thought that shit before too. If they came through the door, what song would play?
Yes.
Like Sean might, if I just want to get in the middle of the ring, does that flex and you hear the dum, 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 dum. Like, dude, you know how awesome that would be?
Yeah.
But the thing is, it gets awkward. I'm gonna do all that and just sit and eat lunch.
Yeah.
The fuck?
Yeah.
That's so silly.
It is so silly.
Oh my God.
Oh,
bro.
it's so silly. I want to talk before we leave. I want to talk about Papi Negro a little bit.
What do you want to talk about, my friend?
So what? So talk about the podcast. Just tell the listeners what it's about, where they can find it, things like that.
The genesis of it is I did a podcast called the Buzzed and Broken podcast. Dude, let me tell you something about that fucking podcast. I did it with some friends. We did an episode. I remember my friend's girlfriend was watching a show about this girl in the Middle East. She was out the norm, so she was dressing how girls shouldn't dress. And, you do that over there, and they have that. It's like, oh, you doing what?
Yeah.
Oh, we killing your ass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I was like, we should do an episode about Islamophobia. And then what ended up happening, so we did that episode on a Friday. We got my friend who co-produces the Buzzed and Broke. Well, he pretty much does the tech stuff for the podcast, and he pretty much is a co-host for the most part.
Yeah.
And produces the show. He was there. He's half black, half white. He's Muslim descent. Well, it's not Muslim descent, but his dad is practicing Muslim. His dad is black, Muslim, whatever. And then I had a friend who's of Egyptian descent. He's an atheist now, but grew up in a Muslim household. Mm-hmm. All right. So shot that episode on a Friday. What happens after that? So what happened is, like, I remember this is in 2016. So what ended up happening in the West, something came out on a Wednesday. It was like, we released that episode on a Wednesday. Thursday, Friday, they were like, oh, there's a thing that came on the internet on Facebook. I saw it was like, ISIS activity is gonna, like, they say ISIS activity is in Palm Beach area or Treasure Coast County. Treasure Coast would pretty much be like, Jensen Beach, Port St. Lucie, Fort Pierce, Vero, all that area or whatever.
Right.
Or maybe not Vero, I'm not too sure, but that area. I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. And funny thing is, that Saturday I was hanging out with a girl. They're gonna go to a gay club. I'm like, nah, that's not my thing, because I've never really been in a serious relationship. So it'd be weird if people never see me in a serious relationship or out in public with a girl and see me in a gay club. I'm like, yeah, that's just like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it'd just be like weird. So I was like, I thought about, for this girl, I want to hang out with her.
Bring you back to those Pokemon flashbacks.
Right.
Like, is you gay?
When I was gay. So I went to go hang out. I was like, you know what, to hang with her, I'll probably go. And they're like, oh, we're canceling. I'm like, fine. I was like, thank God I went home. Sunday, woke up, come to find out, the Pulse shooting happened that Saturday.
That's nuts.
That's crazy. All that time. That guy's from this area.
I didn't know.
The Pulse shooting guy is from this area.
Wow.
Fort Pierce, whatever. He lived in Fort Pierce.
Holy cow.
So let's say this. Let's say we went to that club, that spot. He could have easily been there, and then I could have died if I went there.
Yeah.
And then I thought about it. Well, what ended up happening as well is that one of the dudes that was on that show, growing up, he was in the same mosque as him, so he knew him growing up. And just thinking about how that intertwined in a week of that happening, it was the craziest shit ever. Wow. So the Buzzed and Broken, I was a part of that. I always wanted to do a podcast since 2014. Then we make the Papi Negro podcast, spoofing a pizza spot. If you see the logo, you'll understand. Yeah. I can't say it because I probably get hemmed up. Because one of the owners is eating like 30, 40 pizzas a day, he says. 30 pizzas a day. 35 days. I was like, God damn, he looked like a pizza.
He
I was
does look like a pizza, bro.
He definitely looked like a condiment on one.
Yeah.
So
the reckoning is coming. Like,
it's going to be raining pizza sauce.
Bro, is he starting the apocalypse?
I don't know. You saw his face. He's like, the ending is coming, bro. The spirit of Nebuchadnezzar and Pazuzu will reign upon you for 40 years. I was like, God damn, give that man his shares back. Jesus Christ. So I do the Papi Negro podcast, and I'm like, because my friend, I remember I had a conversation with my friend. She's of Hispanic descent. And she was talking about messing with this white dude. She said, ooh, Papi Blanco. I'm like, ew. Yeah. And she jokingly says, Papi Negro. I was like, ooh. I felt strong. I was like, what? I was like, she said Papi Negro. So and during the Buzz and Broken, what would happen? Because we would drink and then do a podcast, and while we were doing the podcast, we drink. Yeah. So what ended up happening is I'd say my alter ego is Papi Negro. You know what I'm saying? Ya tú sabes, Papi Negro, papo. My best friend is Cuban, so I imitate Cuban people when I speak Spanish. You know, pero cito, you know, the accent comes from their nose, from la nariz, you know. ¿Cómo se dice la palabra en inglés? No conoce. But you know, so that's my whole thing. But I did the Papi Negro. I was like, I saw Papa John's. I was like, ooh, that's Papi Negro. Yeah. And then I saw better pizza, better ingredients, Papa John's. I was like, forever petty, forever roasting, Papi Negro podcast. I was like, boom. Yeah. So the podcast is like, we essentially like talk about current event stuff and joke on it, break it down. At one point we did like Q&A submissions for relationship, and then it just ended up being based in relationships. Yeah. It really ended up being based in relationships. And I had a fuckboy year last year. I wouldn't say fuckboy. I was just I'm a late bloomer. I was dating a lot last year. And I don't know if that has to do with it, but it just became based in relationship, and I just leaned there. I don't know why. Yeah. And that's what it's been. And the Papi Negro podcast, having a podcast is an interesting thing. It's yours. Like, it's so weird. Like, I have this. Yeah. If it doesn't work out, I still have this. And it's an interesting thing to have. It's yours. Yeah. No one else cares about it. Like, I have people on the podcast, but at the end of the day, like, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But it's on you. It's up to you to come out who you want to use. That's the hardest part of a podcast, who you want to talk to. Yeah. Taking the risk on having a conversation with someone. I guess. And that conversation is lame. It's like, what? That's a waste. It's like, you know what I'm saying? And it's just hard. I don't want to have anyone coming to my place and record, you know, but the Papi Negro podcast, man, I'm happy I have it made, dude. It's good stuff. And you can find that on YouTube right now. It's everywhere. On my YouTube page. Just put Phil Isme and you'll see it there. I'm gonna put it on. I'm gonna start working on putting it on other primary podcast places so you can hear the audio. So right now you can get the audio and visual, but soon you will hear audio. And the first episode is gonna be with the incomparable, forever effervescent, Mr. Unfuckwittable, Mike Valdes.
I don't even know what 3 of those words meant, but
you gotta step your vernacular up, bro. That's what happens being in the burbs.
I know.
From the burbs.
That's amazing, man. This has been a podcast, dude. It's been
for real. Yeah. We did a 2 a day.
Yeah, we did 2 podcasts, and it was awesome. I enjoyed myself so much. Where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram, Twitter. My last name, I-S, M as in Mary, E as in Easter, Philip, Phillip. Nice. Is me Philip. I can't say Philip is me because y'all motherfuckers took it. And now I can't really use my real name to be out here. But yeah, you could definitely look that up there.
Yeah. Awesome, man. And for me, you can find me on Instagram at Mike Valdes, on Twitter at I am Mike Valdes. You can go to whoismikevaldes.com to find out the answer to that question. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for listening. Subscribe, tell all your friends so we can grow this family. Bye, besties.